Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Hello, I am Eric Ghoukasian. We are back for some multi-class action. And what better place to have multi-class action than at the mountain here at Mount Panorama at Bathurst. This is going to be absolutely phenomenal. We have 23 cars on the grid, 13 GT4s, 10 GT3s, and it is going to be absolute chaos, hopefully in a good way, and I'm here for it. Hopefully you are too. Beachley, welcome. How are you doing? Callie, still waiting on you to come back, buddy. We miss you. Hope everybody's doing well. We are ready for some action. Qualifying is almost coming to a close. And let's get this party on the road. Let's see. Alrighty. Let's see what we have here, folks. Get our broadcast in line here. Oodles and oodles of fun coming our way. Jace Wright not having set a time yet and is looking for something. I'm sure he will not want to be at the back of the GT4 grid. We have Ricardo Rivera with pole position with a 59.9. What a rocket ship of a lap. Right, looking to see if there's anything in the tank for him. 20-minute qualifier. GT4s went out for the first 10 minutes, and our GT3s now finishing off the last 10 minutes. And then we are on to the grid for a phenomenal race. How is everybody doing tonight? What is good? What is new? What is up? What are you racing these days? Would really love to know. Full bladder. Ooh, that's a tough one. You know, that's one of the things that they don't tell you about racing is how to deal with your bladder if it's full. Actually, fun fact, even though it's not redeemed, there are drivers, actually teams who tell the drivers to just do it, just urinate in the cockpit. I mean, not a pretty sight, but hey, you got to do what you got to do, and it's all for the good of the race, because it's much better to drive with a clear mind and a clear bladder. Chase right here getting a P4 lap time. That is pretty quick, but not as quick as the leader right now. Ricardo Rivera going in for another lap in the Ferrari. Does anybody have anything to challenge Rivera in this car? The Puerto Rico E-Racing Club Ferrari. Actually, for those who are in Puerto Rico, we might have some fun news coming your way. I'm not gonna talk about it just yet, but very soon we'll let you guys know. It is pee the pants. That is absolutely the thing to do. It's just simply the way to do it. Rivera looking for an improvement on the 59.9. Nothing right now, but we'll be looking to absolutely send it down the mountain. Bring that Ferrari to its very, very best. Ooh, a bit too much. Unfortunately, Rivera tapping the wall. Jace Wright, though, looking for a lap with 18 seconds left, manages to reset the timer and go around. Does show an improvement, but needs 0.6 to challenge the likes of Chandler Williams and Denarte just ahead. The top of the grid looking rocket ship fast here at TRACKILICIOUS at Mount Panorama. And while we're doing that, looking at the grid of GT4's Kerbal, Beachley, right up there, Chronotis, a Bathurst specialist, along with Beachley and Kerbal. Looking good. DeSantiago, a recent rookie graduate. looking to challenge the bold and the beautiful. Appreciate the hydrate there. We'll take advantage of that as we watch Jace Wright looking for an improvement. Ooh, Facecam Fiesta redeemed. Okay, we can do that. I believe we still have it set up. Here we go. What's up, folks? How you doing? Got the TRACKILICIOUS gear on, looking good. Feeling mighty fine here. It's straight Paniak. I hope I said that right. 1987. Good year. Alrighty. Jace Wright does have a couple of tenths in hand. We actually have Ramon Torres with some speed in hand as well. 2 tenths up from his current lap time or current number on the board. Is he going to be able to improve a position? 6th place right now. Finds some time. 7 tenths. 2 tenths, but is still 4 tenths off. Kevin Yu is unfortunately not going to be enough for him, and looks like the rest of the field either invalidates or just does not get it done. But we are gonna get started here. It looks like we got some dusk here. 50 minutes on the field, ready for some action. Super excited. And let's have a look at our grid and see who we've got going on the race. Ladies and gentlemen, in the pole position for the GT3s, you have Ricardo Rivera in the Puerto Rico E-Racing Club livery. The Ferrari, Thiago Dinarte coming in P2 in the Please Break It T1 McLaren. Chandler Williams, the teammate, is in P3. I'm going to assume it's the Please Break It T1 Bentley there. Jace Wright and the Good Smile Racing Mercedes. P4, Kevin Yu in P5 in the Ferrari. Ramon Torres in the Puerto Rico E-Racing Club McLaren coming in P6, followed by Danny Campbell in P7. Parker Standard Jurassic Racing Lamborghini in P8. Buggy Watt in the Overdrive Racing Ferrari in P9. And closing out the grid is a Rally Dutchie in the Mad Fox Sim Racing Porsche. Looking at the GT4 grid, we have in P1 Neil Kerbal in the Kerbal Race Program McLaren rocket ship on the straight. Justin Beachley coming in P2 in the Beach GT Cat livery on the Mercedes. In P3, we have the likes of Professor Kronotis and the T-Swizzalicious Mercedes. P4, Brian DeSantiago, Colin Sugg in P5. The Porsche, top Porsche GT4 on the grid. Ryan Eason, the other Jurassic Racing car in the other class here in P6. Rob Obrochta in P7 in the Alpine. Land Cloud in the KTM in P8. Andre Alex Afonso in a P9 in the Maserati. I should know. I work for the company. Maserati here doing a fantastic job in a very difficult car to drive. Hopefully he survives through the entire race. 50 minutes. And then we have Dr. Porkchop in P10. Wade Georgeson in P11. Sir Koj in P12 in the Chill Bibble Racing. And finally, Jay Daly in the Janetta. And there you have it, folks. That is our entire grid. 23 cars on the grid, 10 GT3s, 13 GT4s, and it is going to be super exciting. I'm very excited. Look at that lovely crowd. Are they going to make it? Are they going to make it through lap 1? Are they going to make it through lap 2, 3, 4? Wow, that is going to be fun. And we have Brian Santiago requesting a fun fact. I mean, could we just, retro redeem the fun fact and saying that some race car drivers pee in their cockpit in their seats? Now, it might not be so much of a problem and kind of a pain for those single race car, single seats, switching drivers, but sometimes you got to do it in an enduro, and that is quite unkind to your teammate who has to jump into the car next. So I guess if we were to say not to retro redeem a fun fact, I will add another one in saying that the closest airport, major airport, if we were us fans try to drive into Sydney and go, link up with JP Reed and go to the Bathurst race, is Sydney. It's about a 3-hour drive, 2 hours and 51 minutes from Sydney. Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in for an exciting 50-minute race here. Hopefully everybody does okay. Yeah, no TC, no ABS for the mods is going to be a bit of a thing. A bit wild. But Andre Alex Afonso, quite an accomplished driver. Excited to see his performance. I'm sure he will do very, very well in it. Livery deep dive. All right, Parker, let's go in and have a look while we can. Going into the livery of Parker Standrit, the Canadian driver in the Jurassic Racing Lamborghini, choosing the red accent this time. Flashing the lights for the fans as he goes through the mountain, I should say. I do like the contrast of the flat black and the shiny gold, reflective red. Got your name on there. Parker, the thing that you're missing, as those who know me will know what I'm about to say, is there's something missing. Do you know what it is? I think I know what it is. A TRACKILICIOUS logo somewhere. Gotta get them TRACKILICIOUS logos. What do we got underneath here? Roar on that rear wing. Well, there you have it, Parker. Hope you enjoyed that livery deep dive as we get ready to round the final sector of Mount Panorama here. Going through the chase. And finish off the last corner. Murray's corner, that is. Mr. Panyuk, thank you so much. You are an absolute legend. 2 gifted subs. Thank you so much. I can't tell you how much we appreciate that. Really, really do. All of the money that gets made off of these streams goes directly to all the staff that help support what we do here. So it is greatly appreciated. They spend oodles and oodles and oodles of time making this place as great as it is. So any support we get is immensely appreciated. You are a legend. Thank you so much. All right. Getting ready to get this race started. Ricardo Rivera looking to get optimal position as we look in from the sky here. Everybody lining up. Left, right formation. And it looks like we have a disconnect. Unfortunately, Chandler Williams is not there, but looks like the front two get a great start. Fortunately for Rivera, having the inside line, Denarte trying to find some magic going under, but does not manage to get it. Gets a great corner for T1 for the likes of Rivera. We do have 2x2 between Neil Kerbel and Justin Beachley. Beachley having the outside of the first corner. Now we'll be having the inside of the second. This is going to be to his advantage, but the straight line speed of the McLaren absolutely dominating, even though Mercedes is known to have immense straight line speed as well. Looks like Neil Kerbel does manage to get to the second corner corner, the corner of Griffin's Bend, before the Mercedes does, and that is going to be a difficult position to overcome for Justin Beachley. Their times so close, but Kerbal getting the advantage and managing to stay ahead in the first couple of corners here. We do have, unfortunately, no, we don't, is a false yellow on the timing charts here. Everybody looks like they're going through the mountain quite well so far as we go back to the lead battle here. The pit window opening up for everybody here. Hopefully you're enjoying the race so far. This is going to be absolutely intense as the GT3s will make their way around the GT4s very shortly. And we have Dinarte challenging Rivera, and we have Wright challenging Dinarte. All three of these cars right tip to tail, as there's a bit of understeer from the back two cars, as you would expect with the wash, the aero wash from that Ferrari coming out just behind. Now they're going to have the advantage where they're going to have all that drag. Ferrari not known to have much straight line speed, but the McLaren and the Mercedes do, and there's going to be any effort, any attempts here a bit too far to make a move. Unfortunately, we do have a yellow flag all the way in the back. Looks like we have Professor Kernotis found himself in a situation and a couple of cars in the wall. That is not the place you want to find yourself. Unfortunately, maybe a early pit for Professor Kernotis and a recovery drive. I'm sure he will put his best effort. We'll have to remember that Kerno does have immense speed. I think he qualified fourth or so, and it's going to be a good one. Good recovery drive from him as he tries to make his way back to the pits. Got more yellows, 707 in the final sector. Wade Jorgensen unfortunately finding himself in the wall, and a bit too much throttle on the grass for Wade. No, just the right amount of throttle. Righting his wrong. Oh, unfortunately, yikes. Does not accept a car or expect a car coming in that quickly. Fortunately, they don't make any contact, and Parker Strandrit does make it through as Wade finds his way into the pits to repair the damage. Front car still looking pretty good though. No issues for them yet as they continue to race through the mountain, through some of the fastest corners here at Bathurst. Now going down Skyline, the blind downhill over the crest. Everybody making it through just fine. Dinarte still chasing down the likes of Rivera. Rivera under pressure, having to look ahead, but also behind, as you have the likes of Jace Wright chasing him down. Onto the straight. The Conrad straight. Looks like Jace doing a pretty good job chasing down that McLaren. The draft really helping him out. Unfortunately for Jace, looks like Thiago does get a bit of a pull from Rivera up ahead as well, and that's something Jace is going to want to go away. He's going to want Thiago Dinarte not to have that pull, not to have that draft from the Ferrari up ahead, as he tries to find some speed to get to that McLaren. Rob Abrochta chasing down Ryan Eason. For effective fourth place in the GT4 category here. That Alpine not having the best straight line speed, but very light, very quick through the corners. As Abrochta continues to try and chase down the Camaro up ahead. Jace Wright right there again. The Mercedes chasing down the McLaren of Thiago Dinarte now as they go through Quarry Bend, or Griffin's Bend, I should say. No, it was Quarry Bend. Sorry, Quarry Corner. I was right. Now through Skyline, going down the mountain. Lovely sunset. 8:15, 8:12 p.m. here with 45 minutes remaining in the race. Jace Wright chasing down, has made a mistake now, building up a bit of a gap to the likes of Thiago Dinarte. Dinarte now closing down on Ricardo Rivera up ahead. What battles in the back, Standret? Well, he's chasing down, but not quite sure it counts considering Parker is a GT3 car behind a GT4 car of Dr. Porkchop. He's going to want to unlap or ungroup himself as quickly as possible. Parker, the lovely Lamborghini here. Looking for some more battles, and Parker might finally get it done here on the Conrad Straight. Porkchop really giving him something to race for, and just a compliment to Porkchop and putting the great pace on that Mercedes. That has moved on. Abroached up right there, still behind the Jurassic Racing Camaro. The Alpine just looking so small relative to the Camaro. Look at the size difference. Very cool to see. Andre Alex Afonso still living the best life of no TC and ABS, doing a fantastic job on that Maserati. Quite impressive, actually. Dinarte still chasing down the likes of Ricardo Rivera here. Trying to get closer and closer and closer. Rivera not having any aero advantage, being up ahead. Dinarte getting the draft. The car ahead, punching all the air away. Is this a competitive room? Drive 250, welcome. I'm not quite sure what you mean by your comment, so I'll answer it a couple of different ways. We at TRACKILICIOUS do have a multitude of championships. This one is a multi-class and is open to all skills of drivers. We have our rookie series on Mondays that is intended for newer drivers. We have our Sunday ACC GT3 series that's intended for all drivers. And then we have our multi-class iRacing on Thursdays, and then we have LMU on Tuesdays, and soon to return on Fridays as well. So it's competitive, but it's also for all skill levels. If you find yourself in the front end of the grid with the likes of Ricardo Rivera and Thiago Dinarte, it is incredibly difficult, but you can rub shoulders with some of those who are still learning in the back of the grid. Thank you so much, Drive 250, for the follow as well. Hello, Raiders from Coco Krusty. Barev Unker Inch Peses. Hello. Hope you're doing well, Coco. Our fellow friend Sim Racer coming over. What were you driving? Were you simming today, or were you doing something else? Hope everybody is well. Welcome to those who have not been here before. We are TRACKILICIOUS. We are a sim racing community mainly. Hang out doing a bunch of races. We have a rookie ACC on Mondays. We have LMU on Tuesdays. We have iRacing. Sorry, I just read that. We have Wednesday ACC multi-class as you're watching today. GT3, GT4s. We have iRacing on Thursdays with LMP2s and GT3s. LMU on Fridays, and GT3 racing on ACC on Sundays. So quite a selection for those that are interested. Would love to have you all join us and check us out. full schedule indeed, and a fantastic team behind us to support all the racing, as we do see Thiago Narte in the McLaren chasing down the likes of Ricardo Rivera here. A 50-minute race down to 39 minutes and 28 seconds here remaining, Coco, and these guys have been battling since the start of the race, practically tip to tail, and they're dropping Jace right back in the Mercedes a little bit, but still doing a pretty good job of chasing each other down. We do have not quite so much any more battles, but Parker Standret trying to make his way through the GT4 field, having been in an incident earlier in the race, and now making his way through the likes of Andre Alex Afonso in the Maserati. And those who don't know, in ACC, the Maserati comes with no traction control, no ABS, and probably one of the most difficult cars to drive in the whole sim. But Andre Alex Afonso doing a fantastic job so far, and is in P4 in class, P5 in class, I apologize. Going back to the battle ahead, we can hop in and have a look here as we have Thiago Narte chasing down the likes of Ricardo Rivera, getting close but no cigar as he balances very finely that McLaren. Let's do a full onboard lap again. For those of you who are new here, this is ACC Multiclass. You are looking at the GT3s as Narte chasing down Ricardo Rivera, going into Hell's Corner, turn 1, down into second, trying to hit that apex. Wide throttle as early as possible, foot all the way down, tuck in behind the car ahead, try and get as much draft advantage as you can. Draft being the advantage you get in aerodynamics as the car ahead punches the air away from you, and you get to just live in that vacuum just behind. Going through Griffin's Bend, turn 2, all the way wide again, throttle as soon as possible. Throttle through this kink in turn 3 and look for the cutting. Very fast corner, huge camber, and allows you to put the throttle down relatively earlier than you think you can. Now through Quarry Corner, super fast, full throttle. You gotta really get used to the fine details of that corner, otherwise you're going right into the wall. Through Reed Park, through Frog Hollow, now Sloman Park and McPhillamy Park. Bit of a lift there for the GT3s over Skyline. In my opinion, one of the most difficult corners in all of racing, as there are such fine margins and such variation in your balance down the hill through the S's 12, 13, 14, into the 15, 16, 17. Now Forest Elbow, tightest corner on the track. Really manage your throttle, because you're going to have huge gains and losses if you do not put your foot down sooner than later. Onto the Conrad Straight, going into the final set of corners here in the last sector, coming in on the kink in turn 20. The chase 21 and 22. Looks like Narte is close enough to start being threatening, and decides better of it, is gonna save his efforts for a different corner, but is in really threatening position as they overtake a couple of cars. Looks like Rivera decides to go in for a pit early and release Narte. Narte might have to deal with some traffic here, and that might be a strategic move for Rivera. It says, hey, you know what, you're going to be compromising some pace as you go through the lap here, and this might be one of the smartest things I've ever seen happen. Thank you so much, Krusty. Again, you gotta get you on our races, Coco. We've been begging you for a while. Well, I really hope one day you'll be on the grid with us. Parker, that sucks. It's a really difficult track to master, and it takes a very long time. And I keep telling people, the only way you get good at Bathurst is if you crash every possible way you can. Every possible way you can, crash every way you can, and then you develop this sense of like, hey, I think something's going wrong before it actually goes wrong, and that's how you start getting fast at Bathurst. Loving the concept of the scream. RK Smoke, thank you so much. Welcome. Really appreciate it. Raider from Coco Krusty. We are a sim racing community, and we have a bunch of streams for you through the week. And this week, right now, looking at the multi-class, Ricardo Rivera was leading the race. Now it's the likes of Thiago Dinarte in the McLaren. Dinarte leading, but may have been a poor call on his end, considering that he has had to go through some lap traffic. The traffic of the GT4s. Rivera tucking into the pits, maybe being one of the smartest things we've seen in sim racing, because hot lapping and having pace is one thing, but overtaking people is completely different. A multi-class adds a completely new dimension of racing, as you have to consider the slower or the faster classes, and regardless, traffic giveth and traffic taketh away. In this case, we had Ricardo Rivera tucking out into the pits, hopefully trying to find a window where he has loads of clear track, and maybe we can have a look and see. He is going through some lap traffic, but he's going to have a huge space of open track just ahead of him, and that is going to be absolutely optimal, as you see the triangle of Thiago Dinarte on the map on the right, having to go through even more traffic. So while Thiago may have the pace in hand, he's gonna have to lose time going through the GT4s, and that might be where we see the advantage gained for the likes of Ricardo Rivera. Less traffic means faster lap times. Faster lap times means you're gaining an advantage over your competitor. And Rivera will be gaining an advantage for at least another lap or two, considering that the space he's got ahead. So while Dinarte is putting down some incredibly quick laps, 2:00.3. That I've never even qualified that quickly. Coco, thank you so much for the support. Appreciate your rating. Have a good night. Enjoy the meds. And I'm sure I'll catch you around. Drive 250. When do you get a job as an actual commentator? Well, I doubt that's ever going to happen for me, but funny you should ask, because our previous main commentator, the legend Mike Noss, has actually graduated from TRACKILICIOUS Sim Racing and gone to commentate for some of the world's largest stages in racing. He's commentated for SRO, for Williams Esports, contracted to do a whole bunch of jobs, and we are incredibly proud of him. For those that are subscribed, can use the Mike Noss emotes. Let's see if we can find it. There we go. Mike Noss commentating and emoting as only Mike Noss knows how to do. Mr. Panyuk, do I do racing? I love racing. I absolutely love it. But unfortunately, my time has been extremely limited as we go through lots of needs as a community admin. And as a community admin, it is my responsibility to try and fill in the gaps. So where we have needs, so rather than racing, which I do love racing out Mount Panorama, unfortunately our lead commentator Kusha Terekov is actually in Europe right now attending the N24 race. Was just at Zandvoort. Is going to be visiting a multitude of tracks, so my responsibility to cover and make sure you guys have something fun to watch. So while I do love racing, I think I haven't driven a sim in about 3 months. And I do miss it very, very much. We are also at TRACKILICIOUS working on some incredibly cool things to bring to the community and do within the sim racing world. And hopefully those are things that we're going to be announcing sooner or later. Yeah, watch out. Yeah, 24 Spa, Nürburgring, Bathurst 12 would be awesome. Lots of cool stuff. Buggy Watt chasing down Lane Cloud now in the GT4. I think that's because Buggy has pitted, and this is where things start to get interesting. 15-minute race. We're approaching the halfway mark, and we have some who have pitted and some who haven't. And this is where things start getting messy and mixy, and looks like that GT4 giving some room on the inside, and Buggy Watt does make his way through clearly and looks ahead for the next person. Thank you so much, RK Smoke. Welcome, and hope you have a good night. 3:20 is super late. It must be in Europe somewhere. Good night, sweet dreams, and we'll catch you around. Let's see what action we have on track. Colin Sugg, actually, not too far from Parker Standard. Actually, from Ryan Eason. No, bit of a gap there. Let's have a look and see who else is on track. Look at that grid right now, or I should say the track map right now. Everybody in different places, and the thing that's going to be really interesting to see is if Denarte, who taps the wall there going down the mountain, isn't ideal, but fortunately limited damage. Is Denarte going to have the pace to make up for the situation of all the time that was lost as he was lapping the GT4s, where Ricardo Rivera dove into the pits and was ready to avoid a bunch of lapped traffic. Neil Kerbel still in the lead of this race. Let's hop on board and have a look at his lap in the GT4 McLaren. Down to, again, trying to get back onto the throttle as quickly as possible using the full width of the track. Pedal to the metal for Kerbel in the rocket ship of a car. The McLaren being the fastest straight line car in the GT4s. Looking for the braking point, hugging the inside on Griffin's Bend. Up the hill, turn 3. Full throttle, lifts for turn 4. The cutting, huge camber inside, able to get on the throttle early. Through 5, wide on 6. Bit of a lift there to avoid the wall on the left-hand side. Through 7 of Reed Park. Frog Hollow, turn 8. And here we are through Solomon Park and McPhillamy Park. 9 and 10. Down through Skyline. 11 through the S's. 12. 13, the Dipper. 14 here, really sharp turn. 15. 16, so many corners, such a short amount of time. And then through turns 18 as he lets the race leader by. Oh no, drive to 50. Hopefully you weren't driving, I suppose. You gotta figure out how to tighten that up. I know I had a bit of trouble in my T300 RS when I was racing with it on the desk, but slide off every so often as Neil Kerbel finds his braking point for the chase. .7 seconds ahead of the likes of Justin Beachley, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a lap with a GT4 here at Bathurst Mount Panorama. Rivera could potentially be first, definitely leading those of the pitters, and we'll find out soon enough if Denarte plans on pitting early or late or taking tires or not.
We're at the halfway mark, keep pushing.
Nobody on the grid quite close, really. Kevin Yu, 6 seconds behind from Jace Wright. Ooh, we have a bit of an incident here. Let's see what happens to Sir Kojay going down the Conrad Straight. Will this be a problem? Obviously, haven't seen the replay. We do know it is going to be a problem, but let's have a look and see what actually happens. Looks like goes through the kink fairly well into the chase. Decent on braking and just outbrakes himself. Isn't able to save it. Oh no! Drives right into the wall, and that is going to be front end damage you're not going to want to have. Kevin Yu, 6 seconds away from Jace Wright. Jace Wright, about 12 seconds away from Dinarte. Looks like Dinarte coming in, and this is where things are going to get exciting, folks. This is where we find out whether the move Ricardo Rivera had of pitting early is going to play out. Going through the final sector, Dinarte. See if we can find a pit lane cam. Where is Rivera? Number 53, coming through the final corner. Is he gonna release on time? My guess is no. My guess is Rivera's strategy does play out. Rivera drives by. How far back is Dinarte gonna end up? Did he forget to turn off his damage? And look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the gap that Ricardo Rivera has built in a matter of a couple of laps. Just the proper strategy. 4:30 in Germany. Oh my goodness, Thor, why are you still awake? I say that, but I've been staying up till 4 in the morning quite a lot recently, unfortunately. And there you have it, folks. Dinarte coming out 12 seconds behind Ricardo Rivera. Rivera's strategy of pitting before he hits traffic has turned out to be absolutely OP. Fantastic move. A strategy move that no amount of skill is going to be able to close down. 12 seconds is a century when it comes to sim racing, especially when you have two drivers of a very, very similar skill set, and that is going to be absolutely true. Oh my goodness, Dinarte potentially deciding to send it in into the skyline, but decides the better of it. Unfortunately, both survive to tell the tale. And he's going to want to have a go now, not having much patience. Pork Chop letting him through, and Dinarte will make his way through and onto the Conrad Straight. But that is now 14 seconds for Dinarte. Now, the race isn't over yet. There's 21 minutes left. Anything can happen at Bathurst. Anything. We nearly have the entire grid pitted, almost. We'll wait to see what happens through the race here. Lane Cloud chasing down Colin Sugg. That KTM really working well for Lane Cloud. I believe Cloud was in the rookie series just day before yesterday. Lovely livery as well. Only 1.7 seconds to Colin Sugg. Lane Cloud looking to get ahead. other battles on track. Looks like Kevin Yu close to Ramon Torres, just up ahead for that podium spot. That's definitely going to be one Kevin Yu is going to want to fight for, but he does have to worry about Jace Wright just behind, 1.6 seconds behind. Jace was previously in that podium spot and must have made an error somewhere. Buggy Watt doing a pretty decent job. Still alive, which is fantastic. In order to finish first, you must first finish. And looks like that's exactly what Watt is doing. Rivera still commanding race, 15 seconds ahead, 16 seconds ahead of the likes of Thiago Denarte. Beachley being chased down by the GT3 of Buggy Watt as Watt tries to undo some of the stuff, get the grid back into, get the field back into separated GT3, GT4. Hello, Tim. How are you doing today? Welcome. What have you been driving lately? I am doing okay. Very, very, very tired, but we're doing okay as we're watching this fantastic multi-class race here at Bathurst. And it looks like Kevin Yu has caught up to Ramon Torres with Jace Wright just behind. You were driving. That sucks. You gotta clamp that wheel down firmer. Drive 250. As we see Kevin Yu chasing down Ramon Torres. Super tight as they go through the kink. Good braking. Oh, that gets super close for Kevin Yu and Jace Wright. Right there. Kevin Yu now under threat from Jace Wright. That Mercedes does have a lot of speed on the straights. Kevin Yu will have the added advantage of being able to get the draft from the McLaren of Ramon Torres. These three in quite the battle, and I kind of want to go into the view of Kevin Yu. The Kevin Yu view. You can see on the bottom right there, Jace threatening while Kevin looks ahead. Look at that. This is absolutely fantastic. You get the blue hue in the cockpit. Was that a bit of a bump for Kevin Yu? Big lift there, as you would. Trying to set himself up for Skyline. These three seem to have pretty similar pace. Kevin Yu, best lap of a 2:02.1. Ramon Torres, best lap of 2:02.4. Jace Wright, best lap of 2:01.4. So Jace does have some pace in hand, but really difficult to overtake at Bathurst. is going to want to see if he can find any advantage, especially when Kevin Yu is getting all that draft from that McLaren ahead. Oh, Yu diving on the inside, but wasn't quite there. And there's Jace, makes the move and makes it stick into Murray's corner. Turn 23 here at Mount Panorama. Jace goes through and is now up into 4th place, and we'll be looking to improve that by 1 to try and see if he can get on to the podium. Oh my goodness, Parker. Pit limiter turned off and straight DSQ'd. That is unfortunate. Oh, bit of a bang for Ramon Torres. Looks like Jace Wright looking on the outside, trying to go too wide into Quarry corner there, and then deciding the better of it. While it is not optimal for him, this is going to play right into Kevin Yu's hands as these two continue to battle, getting themselves into some uncomfortable situations. Jace trying to shape up for a move. Start driving LMU again. I didn't know you had left LMU, Tim. What were you driving in between, ACC? Looks like Jace still putting a lot of pressure onto Ramon Torres. Okay, cool. GT3s, GT4s. Chase right here, challenging for that P3 spot. Torres trying to do everything that he can to stay ahead and gain that podium spot. You know, like we say all the time, winning the race is fantastic. P1 has such a great ring to it. You know, then there are kind of situations where top 3, you know, still sounds great. Podium, right? It's amazing. And then 5, I think 5's the number people chase for, and then 10, top 10, top 5, podium, and the race win. I feel like for me are things that I always try to fight for to try and get into. Continuing, going through some GT4 traffic. Oh my goodness! How'd it go? Oh no! Kevin Yu getting the short end of the stick there, unfortunately. Not much he could have done there. Let's go have a look. Oh, he was doing so well. Unfortunately, the pressure from the GT3 drivers threw off Cloud. Oh, getting a bang. You actually doing a pretty good job, but that's just a bit too much for the car to handle. Oh, that is sad days. And Kevin Yu, quite the angled steering wheel. What would you do? Do you continue driving? He probably has good 45 seconds of damage at the very least. Is he gonna suck it up and try to drive 5 laps? Or is he going to come in and pit? I wouldn't blame him either way, to be honest with you. Yeah, he decides to pit. Really, really unfortunate for Kevin Yu. He's doing such a fantastic job. And it looks like in the meantime we have... Let's see if we can go back and catch it. Yeah, we can. Jace Wright has found his way around Ramon Torres. Have a look and see what happens. Strapaniak, yeah, you should come hop in. You should sign up for this league, and we have the Monday GT4s. Looks like Jace Wright sends it out on the outside of the kink, and just mastery of breaking into the chase, and that is move done and dusted. Quite a good job. Fantastic. Awesome. Buggy Watt now. Oh. Here we go. Buggy now ahead of Neil Kerbal. Even though it doesn't show on the charts just yet. Kerbal doing a fantastic job. Still up in P1. Everybody has pitted. We do have the likes of Ricardo Rivera doing a fantastic job. Rivera, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's never over until it's over, ladies and gentlemen. What happened to Rivera? Going through Murray's corner. Goes on the inside of the GT4. Oh no. What is going on? That is going to be super unfortunate for Rivera. And you've got Denarte now only 4 seconds behind. Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Paniak, what's your name in LMU? I feel like I try to link everyone's name. It's Cello. That is really unfortunate. For Rivera, 7 minutes and 22 seconds remaining. It's still not over yet. It's still not over yet. Am I pronouncing it correctly? I hope I am. That would be great. Looks like Rivera carrying some damage, but not quite enough to make him pits. He's got 6 minutes and 50 seconds, which is likely 3 or 4 laps, and a very rapid Thiago Denarte 3 seconds behind. Ooh. This might be a close one. We got some flashing headlights, unfortunately, for Rivera. You know what? It was just too easy. We had to make it interesting, right? So this is going to be very, very, very interesting. And unfortunately, Denarte for Rivera. Denarte just chomping away. Okay, the eye is silenced, so Strapaniak. Very cool. Thank you for correcting that for me. What background is that? Sounds somewhere like Eastern European to me if I were to guess. Strapaniak. This Unoslim is ACC as we are in Mount Panorama. We have the likes of Ricardo Rivera doing a fantastic job so far, leading the race, and had the strategy on point, but unfortunately got into some lap traffic. Yep, Eastern European indeed. Ukrainian, very cool. Oh, which is better? You know, I get asked that question all the time, and I do have a bit of a politically correct answer. Every sim, it really does have its pros and cons. And what I can say is that LMU seems to be picking up where ACC is what AC is leaving behind, right? So it's got such cool stuff. People really seem to be loving the racing on there and the tire models, and looks like Dinarte is trying to make a move on the outside. Rivera trying to be extremely defensive. Dinarte does manage to stick it. Rivera coming out ahead, but that straight line speed loss for Rivera is just too difficult, forcing Dinarte on the outside. We do have some lap traffic coming back. Looks like Rivera does manage to stay ahead, but is he going to be able to keep that position with the straight line speed of the McLaren? The Ginetta coming into play here, and that is something Rivera is going to love to see. Block Dinarte with the Ginetta, going 3 wide. Oh my goodness! Absolutely sending it into the second corner. Dinarte tucking him behind. 3 minutes, 51 seconds. Rivera trying his darndest to keep Dinarte behind. This is unbelievable. Dinarte has the pace. Rivera carrying damage down through the mountain here. Rivera's gonna want to see if he could just force Dinarte into an error. Rivera fortunate that he's gonna have a whole bunch of lap traffic that might work in his favor. Block Dinarte from coming through. A bunch of GT4s up ahead. Traffic giveth, traffic taketh away. Will it be the giveth or will it be the taketh? Rivera forcing Dinarte on the inside. Dinarte does manage to stick it, goes through. Oh, a bit wide, unfortunately. Oh, there's a tap. Dinarte does manage to save it. Rivera now looking on the inside. The wiggle from Dinarte. Is that enough for him to fall behind? No, looks like Rivera has to settle for P2. Dinarte doing a fantastic job of catching that McLaren. A bit of lap traffic, more traffic coming through though. Is Rivera going to be able to stay close enough to make a difference? Unfortunately, as we saw earlier, contact between Rivera and one of the GT4 cars. Dinarte saying, hey, I'm here, please let me through. And Rivera doing the same. Lots of conversation on ACC versus LMU. Yeah, LMU doing some great things, and they're still working on it, right? Still a lot of things to work on and improve, but the base that they've got has been absolutely phenomenal. Loads of people really liking it. The things that we're hoping to see from LMU is just allow us to do more from a server side. The thing that we love is just all the control that we get in ACC. You know, it's really nice to run our own servers and run our own leagues the way we like to run them. And we're hoping that LMU progresses into that kind of model as well. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Dinarte makes his way through. Another battle on track. The Ryan Easton looking to make a position next to that Maserati. The roar of the Maserati, the scream of the Maserati, and the roar of the Camaro coming through. 19 seconds remaining. And final lap of the race. Dinarte goes through. Is past Rivera. And is Ryan gonna have enough time to make this move stick? It looks like Ryan is dropping. Alfonso doing a fantastic job through the mountain. Hello, welcome back, David. How are you today? Afonso, an absolute rocket ship through the mountains, doing a fantastic job. We actually have another battle between Porkchop and Brian and Santiago. Porkchop on the inside, side-to-side battle through the mountain. Extremely difficult. The Santiago ahead right now. The Mercedes looking for an advantage on the final lap. We have the race leader coming down through the mountain just ahead here. Is this going to be enough time for Porkchop to make a move and make it stick? Porkchop turning it a bit too early. Gets a bit of contact with the wall. Is it enough to dissuade him to make any more moves? I don't think so. I think he's going to want to get that position any way he can within legal limits. Looking on the inside of the Santiago, making him think twice, going down one of the most difficult corners in all of racing, Skyline. Right there, still battling. And while they continue to battle there, we're gonna hop into the likes of Thiago Denarte of the Please Break a T1, the Brazilian McLaren coming through and winning the race. Thiago Denarte winning here at Bathurst Mount Panorama. But eyes on the battle between Porkchop and the Santiago. Porkchop choosing the inside of the kink. The Santiago maybe having the inside of the chase. No, the Santiago drops back and is unable to keep up. Now coming back at him, unfortunately a bit too wide, a bit of grass there. Is the Santiago going to have anything to say about this last couple of corners? Oh my goodness, Chase Wright coming into play. Chase, what are you doing, bro? And unfortunately, Jace Wright coming in between the battle we were watching. Fantastic. Thiago Denarte P1, Rivera P2, right 3, Torres for you, finding the 5th spot. Watt P6. Fantastic, surviving the race. Then we have Kerbal Beachley, Obrochta, Afonso, Easton, Sugg, Cloud, Porkchop, Santiago, Daly, Kernotis, Georgeson. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hop back into the studio. Here we go. Hope everyone's doing well, and let's have a look and see 1 minute and of damage. Last 13 minutes. That is unfortunate. Brian, have you tried not getting damage? Let's see. If we could have Rivera, Denarte, and Jace Wright in here. Kerbal, who is P2, Beachley, and Obrochta. Come on into the steam room. Love to have a quick interview with you. We'll see if these folks hop in. In the meantime, let's go and look for someone we can raid.
Green light. Give it all you got.
Cloud, unfortunately, we did see that happen. That's really, really unfortunate. It's tough. It's tough for sure. But sometimes that's just racing, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I think, you know, yeah, people will understand sometimes. I would just suggest just apologizing in chat. Yeah. I hate to see it for sure. You know, Slim, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the group, to the family here at TRACKILICIOUS. So we try to find someone to raid. Just Beachley coming in here. Oh, I know what's going on. I'm not in chat. Alrighty. Here we go. Let's try to get these people in here. Let's do a sound check. Gentlemen, can you hear me?
Yes. Can hear you.
Alrighty, we can hear you as well. We got the likes of Neil Kerbal and Justin Beachley of the GT4 gang. Beachley, let's start with you. Big challenge on the first lap. Try to take Kerbal right off the gate there. Almost had it.
Yeah, I was trying real hard. I think that was probably my best chance of getting in front and staying in front if I would have pulled off that move on the first lap, but didn't happen, which is fine. I'll definitely take second place. It was a very, very sweaty race for being kind of in no man's land for a lot of it.
Well, it was a fantastic effort. I think bit of a slow race for the rest of the race for you, but that was a good start. We were pretty excited to see that happen, and just unfortunately for you, Kerbal had the pace today. Kerbal, anything special happening for your race today?
I actually have a question for Beachley. Did you end up taking tires? Because I was watching the relatives between us quite constantly, and I saw you when I came out of the pits, you're like 8 seconds behind, but when I went in the pits, you're like 3 seconds. So I'm assuming you did, but just curious.
Yeah, I did. I kind of felt him going like right before the pit stop, and thought that was the move. I don't think it was, obviously, in the end, but you know, I think between that and slowing down a bit to avoid the incidents on the first lap, I think that kind of did me in a little bit.
Oh yeah, same. I was very cautious up ahead with the GT3s. I was really hoping that none of them got sideways on the mountain.
And yeah, we actually saw a bit of contact between a GT3 and GT4, resulting in the loss of the win of the race, unfortunately. But alas, that is how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for popping in here. Great race. Congratulations on the win, Neil. And as always, we actually have an admin and a league manager. Admin being Neil Kerbal, league manager Justin Beachley, doing a fantastic job keeping the lights on here at Trackalicious. Really appreciate you guys, and congratulations.
Thanks for streaming, Eric.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
No problemo. All right, folks. We will likely be back on Monday as we have a non-official iRacing race on Thursday, and I won't be at my computer. I'll actually be traveling to the racetrack at Grattan for those who are in the Midwest area. We are going to Grattan Raceway on the west side of Michigan, hosting the Trackalicious Track Day. In the meantime, we are gonna find someone to raid. Let's see who we have out there. You know what? Let's go show some love to whoever this is. This person seems to be streaming some Le Mans Ultimate. For all you Le Mans Ultimate fans, let's go. Thank you so much, Cello. Appreciate it. Let's get this raid going. And there we have it. Matisuneal. Maybe we can ask how that's pronounced. Looks like wearing a German soccer sweater. Okay, thank you so much again. I really appreciate everybody hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream, and we'll see you next time, probably Monday. For those who haven't signed up yet, signed up for the special race. It is on SimGrid, which is on July 7th. We're having a Tyler Morgan birthday bash at Suzuka. Bunch of drivers, any class you want. It is going to be absolute mayhem, and that's exactly what we're trying to do, is just blow Tyler's brains out by having so much commentary he doesn't know what to do with it. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out. Really appreciate you. I'm Eric Ghoukasian here at Trackalicious. Wherever you are, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, and we'll see you next time. Bye.